that girl is absolutely phenomenal in the cockpit of a sprint car or a micro, whatever it is. Look at what she did at Salem Speedway last year. Swept the entire season, undefeated. I mean, this girl, there's no girl about it. There's a number on a race car, and she'll run with the best of them. She is. If you get a chance to watch her run a curve, it's a big track.
With a small track,
with
like
or without
Sunset.
a wing or anywhere. She is. You talk about a talented race car driver. Lindsey Barney is an up-and-coming star that you will see out of the Northwest make it onto a big series.
You know, the crazy thing about it is that so many people have such respect for this young lady is that she drives very, very clean. She is a very, very talented driver. I mean, it shows and stuff that she's keeping it up there. And, again, walking through the pits, I talked to her and stuff and didn't realize because I haven't seen her yet this year. I looked at the car, and the car I kind of recognized, and I looked at her and said, "Are you driving this thing?" She goes, "Yep." That's all.
She does.
That is all she
her
is.
dad's not a man of many words either. That whole Barney gang, they're racers.
They're very, very focused. She was
very.
This is the thing. Literally, right after I got in talking to her, she went right in the trailer and she started working on that. And she was, spraying the car down with mud off and everything. So we'd go out there and wheel pack. I mean, she is so dedicated to that sprint car and to the racing and to her program. It's unbelievable.
And watching her drive, and you and I talked about this last winter at Salem Speedway when we were, kind of went and watched a show there, and we were watching her. You want to see a race car driver that is the definition of smooth. This is the girl that you want to watch. This is the driver that you want to watch. She is what smooth is all about.
Well, remember how we were talking about flinging in there at the flag stand? Wait till the main event. Wait until I talk about this. So at halfway, 4 laps down, 4 more laps to go. Tim finally gets around her on the outside. He finishes second, and Lindsey Barney finishes third. In fourth is the 29 T of Tommy Moreau, the 50 of Brad Rhodes, and Theo would finish in the 24 car in
That's
sixth
a good
spot.
heat race. I mean,
It's
Brad
very,
Rhodes, another good driver in that 50 car. I mean, he gets around pretty good.
You see these notes? And this is just heat race number 2.
Oh, man.
Things happen.
Gosh, it's a 2-hour show.
Things happen.
It's a 2-hour show.
I'm telling you, you're gonna want to listen to this.
We went an hour over last week.
That's because your segment. I think I was right on time. I think it was like 3 minutes past. No, it's cool. So listen to this heat race. Okay, heat race number 2. It's Darren Ruth, Wayne Van Raden, Bob Lindsay, Lacey Hallmark, Gumby is in this one, and Dave Mead. Okay, that's your top 6. So lap number 1, Rob Lindsay would put out on a lead. He'd be gone. Into turn 1 and 2 on that same lap, right? Van Raden would make contact and stuff with the left rear of the 8H of Lance Hallmark, who was running second. He would slow in front of Gumby on the backstretch on the bottom, who was running third. Hallmark then would get into Gumby, or actually Gumby would get into Hallmark, and he would make contact. Check this out. Just getting pinpoled all around now. Has a flat left rear tire, right? Hallmark gets tagged by Gumby. Gumby slows down, pushes him kind of up. Who gets a run out of turn number 2? The 3 car of Van Raden. So about halfway down the backstretch and stuff, where we come out on the track or whatever like that, Hallmark comes up, makes contact with Van Raden, nearly flips him, spins him around. He comes back up on the right rear, and then comes back on the left rear, and comes back down. He's facing oncoming traffic. Finally lands it back on his all four. I'm like, this is lap 1. We haven't even made a lap yet.
And Wayne didn't just whip it around and take off again?
No, I think he talked a little bit about it and stuff at the main event, but he's like, man, that was
I bet that was
fun. So not only almost flipping him, it put him put it all start. They went and of course did a full complete restart. Lindsay, of course, back out front with Ruth, 5 laps. Ruth would get under Hallmark to take the lead, bringing Van Raden with him on the top side, and that's how they'd finish. Ruth, Van Raden, Lindsay, Hallmark, Gumby, and Mead would be your top 6.
Wow,
dude, it was insane.
And those wingless sprint cars at Sunset, it's a good show.
Well,
it's crazy. But
Van Raden stuff. He drove dwarf cars for quite a while, and he has well over 100 victories.
Well, he's a very talented driver. He's fun to watch. I mean, he's one of those drivers that's just fun to watch. He's kind of like Rob Maya, or one of those drivers that just lets it all hang out.
Yeah, right, right. He doesn't care. I mean, he's an older guy. He's so young at heart, and he's so talented and stuff. But I just like him just personally. I don't care if he finishes last, just because he has an Oregon Ducks all over his car. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you might get fired for the show's over.
No way. Bakersfield. So, main event time, 13 cars come out, right? This is crazy. So this is your front row. Rob Lindsay would sit on the pole. Outside, the 16-year-old, right, of Lindsey Barney. Lap 4, both Tim and Barney would split Rod going into 3 and 4. Barney would take the lead for a short time. At that same time, that same lap, when you take the lead out of turn 3 and 4, here comes Tim Albertine, right?
Oh, man.
So she had it for about 3/4 of a lap, and then Tim's like, check this out, dude. I got to go around you.
That's bad news.
Because
right
if I don't get around you now,
I
mean, because you're slow because you had to pass him, I got to get around you now because he knew that she was, if she gets out front, she's going to be bad fast, right? So he gets her on the top side out of 3 and 4. Tim would hold it until the Oregon Ducks sponsored car at Van Raden started knocking on the back door. Now, these guys, this was a show. This was cool. To watch 2 open-wheel non-ring sprint cars at Sunset run side by side for multiple laps and not touch was amazing. It was just cool. Van Raden would eventually, on lap 14, would hit the top side and would take the lead. And it was 30. We went 31 laps, but it was 30-lap main event. He started walking away. Caution came out late with about 4 to go. That kind of bunched the field up. But, I mean, he was literally probably almost a half a track lead by the time we went 4 to go.
No kidding.
Yeah, oh, God, just fast. It was crazy. But Tim and Lindsay would be battling it for second. I mean, that was a great battle. But he won it by .659 seconds. So just under half a second. You know, but I mean, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was a great race to watch those guys. It was insane. I personally, you know, sprint cars and stuff are just so cool to watch, just because they have such a big humper tire and everything else, and they're just such a driving talent of a car that it's crazy. This is going to be a kicker. All right, Northwest Dorf plus the PHRA Dorf guys were there this week. Okay, no qualifying for these guys. No qualifying time. Okay, went straight into the heat races. Gilmore would take the lead. Okay, and I'll.
So this is Heat 1. No qualifying. Working off a pill draw.
I believe so.
Okay.
Because for some odd reason, I do not have any qualifying times for these guys. So. Heat 1, 8 cars, right? This would be the deal. It'd be Wayne Moore, Parsons, Brigchrist, Hester, Liebig, Geitau Jr., Shane Youngren, and Gilmore Jr. would be in this class, okay? So you got 5 out of the 8 that could just basically run away with this thing. Are you seeing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So check this out. So Gilmore would take the lead, but Shane Youngren, this kid, dude, is on a friggin'
bad.
I basically got $20, or was told I was going to give $20 if I just called him the short king or the short track king, because that's all he can win on. That's what everybody's saying. So he's going to prove him wrong next weekend, because he says, you know what? He says, fine. He says, I'm going to go up to Elma. I'll prove that I can run up there at Elma also. So there's some people calling him out, and there's some people saying, well, you can only win at Sunset and da-da-da. Well, hey, I don't care where you win.
Know what?
You're still winning.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that about Shane. I mean, that's one dude that shows I don't care what track he shows up at. That's one of the guys you're going to have to beat when it comes to the Dwarf cars in the PNW.
But check this out. Shane, out of 8 guys, started 5th and would pass people on the bottom. So everybody go in, turn 1 and 2, and just kind of push up a little bit. He'd get his car set up, turn down, and that forward bite on the bottom was ridiculous on how fast it was on the bottom side, and then just walked away. It was just stupid.
I mean, I don't want to, but that doesn't surprise me. As good as he is, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, he's just one of those guys that he's the upper echelon of the Dwarf cars in our region. Mm-hmm. He really is.
So, heat race number 2. So we have 4 heat races, right? 5.
So how many of the Dwarf cars showed up?
We had 16, 17, 18 cars.
18.
Uh-huh.
That's a good count. Good count.
Let's see. 16, 12. No, we had more than that. We had like 20 something.
Make up your mind.
I didn't write it down. I don't know.
What are we talking about here?
Well, we're talking dwarf cars. How many people? Wait, there was a lot. There's a lot of people.
A lot of dwarf cars.
Listen, don't look at my notes, all right?
I was trying to help you figure out what's going on here.
Just listen to the numbers later.
Okay, I'm listening.
We'll pose it later. So heat race number 2, we had 4 heat races, and we had a B main.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. So we had 30-some-odd dwarfs show up, something like that.
Well, from 18 to 30.
Yeah, we had a lot. It was good to go. Listen, I'm just an announcer.
All right.
I can't count. Heat race number 2. This is how it'd go. Listen to the name who came up first time this year, Corey Esteban.
Okay.
We all know that name, right? He was driving 36. We had Jeremiah Hester. Danny Altum, very, very fast.
Very fast.
Michael Hester.
Okay.
Brian Hicks, C.W. Wright, and Chris Jensen.
Okay.
Corey Esteban would start out in the front row outside, would take the lead out of 1 and 2, but the battle literally was for second with Jeremiah and Danny Altum. They would run side by side for 8 laps.
No way.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was the coolest to watch both of them fling it in there, run side by side, in everything. It would give actually Corey Esteban
a chance to check out.
Yeah, he checked out, but listen, he checked out by 2.38 seconds.
Wow, that's getting away.
That's quite a ways.
Yeah.
Corey Esteban win. Jeremiah Hester would actually finish second. Danny Altum third, Michael Hester, Brian Hicks, C.W. Wright, and Chris Jensen, and the 08 car would finish 7th.
It amazes me to see the Hester name in the dwarf cars. We were kids watching those guys at Willamette Speedway and all around the Northwest. I mean, they're still doing it. So, wow. I mean,
hey,
that's cool. I mean,
some of them
I don't know what generation they're on and behind the wheel now, but
9, 10, something like that. I don't know. Probably the same generation that can't count like me. I got to use what are those little slider boards with the
abacus?
There you spell that one. So heat race number 3. This is how it'd go down. There'd be 7, of course, in this heat race. Ryan Martinez in this heat race, right?
Mm-hmm.
Corbin the 3rd, Corbin the 2nd, Fisher, Gobbin, Ward, and Jake Gabbro. Okay. Ryan would start on the pole and would stay out about 4 car lengths ahead of Corbin the 3rd for 8 laps. And when I talk about Ryan Martinez, right, he's so sick and tired of finishing second that his heat race, he was like, dude, it's on.
Well, and to hear Ryan Martinez finish second anywhere is like saying you heard Shane Youngren finish second. I mean, those are the guys. Those are the guys.
It was just crazy. 8 laps, Martinez. Okay, he won it by a little over half a second, but he was on a mission. He was on a mission to set up and say, hey, look, I'm fast. I'm going to be out front. You put me out front. You're not going to beat me.
Right.
And that's what I think what it is it's starting to get to a lot of these people, and no offense to Shane Younger and not like that. And I think Shane is,
well, Shane
he's absorbing it and sitting there saying, you know what? Yeah, I mean, he'll even like in the post interviews and stuff, he's sitting there stating, hey man, he says I welcome it all, man. He says I love winning. I mean, don't get me wrong, but to sit there and have somebody else win or be that competitive or whatever the case is. It's just, dude, it's awesome. And so, I mean, Ryan Martinez, dude, is set. He's ready to go. Heat race number 4, okay? 7 cars in this one. Doug McVeigh, Jim Fisher, John Chrisman in the 88S, okay? Ted Rees, Rich Halbert, Brandon Ross, and Jim Pavel. Doug would start on the outside of row number 1. The great battle for second with Fisher and Ted Rees. 4 laps in, caution would come out. The man to watch was the 88S of Chrisman, who started 7th. Now, mind you, 7 cars started this heat race, okay, and would come up and finish 3rd. You talk about a car that was dialed in. I mean, if you would have gave him 2 more laps, I guarantee he would have been right up there with Doug McVeigh and battling for the top spot.
Well, watching him last year when I was there, he was one of those guys that progressively got better and better and better. And towards the end of the season, I mean, he was top 3, top 4 car and was seriously making a statement. I'm not surprised to hear that he's doing what he's doing.
The thing is he's fast every single week, but he's he's a top 5 car and everything. He just hasn't had that edge or that the ability to be up front, either because of traffic or whatever the case